want to start this one?
No.
All right, I'll start this one. This is the Nosebleeds Show. We got Josh Barnum and Dave Hassett here. We're going to talk a little bit today about the NFL and some of the moves that have happened in the offseason. Real quick, though, before I do that, some pretty big upsets overall, just the whole tournament, and it continued yesterday, except for Michigan. Obviously, you know, we knew Michigan was going to win. They just were hitting every freaking shot. They just couldn't miss last night. When are we going to start believing that Loyola is going to win games? Because I've thought they're going to lose every single game, and they
once we do believe they're going to win,
they're going to lose.
Yeah, but we are NFL bound 1 month from the draft.
1 month.
There's going to be at least 285 mock drafts from now till then, so we're not going to talk about who's going where.
Nah, who cares?
But
some moves.
There's
though.
some shaking up.
Some moves. Bills moved up their first round pick
a little bit.
The Jets moved up their first round pick, but they sold the farm to get the third pick. Sold the farm. They just gave up like 4 picks.
And they literally just stacked the Colts just to move up 3 picks.
And it doesn't even make sense. I mean, I get what the Colts are doing. They're like, okay, cool. Let me take some young guys, especially because they sucked last year. And a lot of people think that Andrew Luck coming back is going to make that a good team. It might. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but it's a team sport.
But now you have 25 extra picks. I mean, come on.
There you go.
They only moved back 3 spots.
Yeah. They only moved back 3 spots, and they got a ton of picks.
3 picks.
So, obviously, I think those, the Jets and the Bills are probably going to look to go after a quarterback, especially because the Bills gave up or got rid of Tyrod Taylor. Now, yeah. they did sign... I
don't understand... The Jets were already in front of the Bills.
Right. So who else were they trying to jump over that?
I don't know.
That they
got in front of Cleveland's second pick, which is probably a good idea because I think they go best player, quarterback, or quarterback, best player, either way. So I think they're going to draft a quarterback either way. But they still have the first pick. This is what I don't understand. They're comparing this pick trade to what the Rams did to get Goff, but they moved up to be number 1.
Right.
It's
so
not. You can give away a ton of stuff if you know that guy, but I don't think there's that quarterback that I'm looking at. I mean, there's 4 or 5 guys out there that we're looking at as quarterbacks. They all look the same. Like they have different attributes, but nobody's like that guy is going to be good.
Right. So I mean, enough about the draft. We don't. We're going to speculate for the next month, and everybody's going to do mock drafts, like you were saying.
I think Detroit's trying to put themselves in the conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, LeGarrette is only going to get $4.5 million for a year, so it's not like it's a huge payday, but he's a solid running back, so I get that on Detroit's end.
And playing in a dome.
Playing in a dome. You got Matt Stafford there still. I mean, that adds just another weapon to their forte.
Yeah. The Bills bulked up on defense.
The Denver Broncos paying Case Keenum $36 million for 2 years. Off of 1 good season as a starting quarterback?
I think if there's any position you're going to overpay for on small amount of performance, it's quarterback because you have to get lucky.
You
have to get lucky. I mean, there's no way Trevor Siemian, no matter what you slice it, is not going to be anything.
You already know what the winner you want. Yeah.
But you've already seen Case Keenum have some success, so you have to take a chance.
I mean, yeah, but come on, couldn't you have gone after somebody that has a better resume? Couldn't you have gone after Alex Smith or Kirk Cousins?
The Alex Smith deal was a done deal before anybody had a chance, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, that trade happened so early, it was so quick, there was we knew Washington was moving on. We knew Alex Smith was moving in. That was done. There was no question. So the next question was, where's Cousins going? I mean, that was over quick too. So you have 2 of the top probably 2 or 3 quarterbacks available already moved at the very beginning of this thing. I mean, I think the pressure's on Elway with the defense.
Yeah.
I think they had some success early on, but now they're...
Well, they had some success when Peyton Manning was your quarterback, so their defense was rocking.
Their defense was still good last year. But it's just it's hard to be a good team when you can't score points.
or manage the clock.
Right.
Like, that's what Peyton Manning did for that team, is just manage the clock, made sure that he put the team in a position to win.
I mean, if there's any guy that could have zero athletic ability and still win, it's him.
He literally had nothing at the end there.
No,
but
it was a corpse. But
so, what the hell is Kansas City thinking though? Just, okay, Alex Smith gone. You know, we're not thinking about him. And then they pick up Chad Henne as their backup. Or
well, they got Mahomes, so
they're gonna try to ride him.
I mean, you got to at this point. I mean, this is the problem with Kansas City, and this is the problem with the whole career of Andy Reid. We've always said, does he have enough? Is it a good decision? I mean, the guy comes out of the wood. I mean, his play calling sometimes is just terrible, but he always finds a way to get his team mediocre.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some success.
500.
Yeah, but he's had some success, but he's never. I mean, we always go into the season. Oh, even when they started 0-5, they made the playoffs that year. Like, he figures it out. He may. I don't know if Mahomes is going to have it in the first year, but I mean, gotta give the kid a chance. I mean, you drafted him high.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta go with your young guy eventually. Right. And Alex Smith is getting older, and I understand they made the playoffs. They had a good season, or at least the first 10 games of the season was good. But then you started to see it kind of fall apart, and I mean, they've got good
now they're going to have Spencer Ware, and they're going to have
Kareem Hunt still.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah. They're going to have. I mean, the offense is still dynamic, and they got rid of a really good defensive player, so it's kind of shaky on that spot. But I mean, it's Andy Reid. He'll figure it out.
I mean, some teams you haven't heard anything about, really, like the Steelers.
Nothing. They've done nothing.
New England hasn't really picked. New England's, picked up guys that you don't know who the hell they are, and then they, out of nowhere, they just win.
I mean, I think Belichick's scouting at, like, Tops and Walgreens. So he's looking for his next wide receiver. Yeah. You know? See, the Patriots, they built through the draft. They signed free agents at a low amount because they want to taste at the postseason, but I don't think they're not going to make tons of moves.
No. Really, for all the chatter of the big moves, it ends up being the Jets giving away everything, and you're still not knowing what they're going to try to do. Like, didn't they pick up Josh McCown or re-sign him or whatever?
Yeah, yep.
So they have Josh McCown, and they got Teddy Bridgewater.
And they signed Pryor yesterday.
Terrell Pryor.
So they're trying.
But what the hell are you doing if you sign 2 quarterbacks and then you move up to the 3rd pick to hypothetically try to get another quarterback? This is the same thing the Jets have been doing over and over. So
they got 3 quarterbacks and nothing else.
And not knowing who the hell's going to play.
They got young running back, they got young wide receivers, they got young defensive back. I mean, Todd Bowles is going to figure out how to make the guys he has do something.
You would think.
Because they overperformed last year. I mean, 5 wins, but they overperformed what Vegas had him at. So, I mean, I just feel bad for the guy. He's sitting there with all these picks, like licking his chops, like, well, I can figure this thing out, right? And they're like, hey, we'll just give 3 away so we can move up. Like, he's probably sitting there like, come on.
What are you doing?
How much do I need to do around here to get some pull?
Yeah, I mean, so
I feel bad for him. I can't wait till he gets out and gets a good job.
Right. So the last team I want to talk about is the Cleveland Browns. Did they become a good team in the last month?
If they don't win 8 games, it's a flop.
Did they become a good team? Like, they picked up Tyrod. They picked up the wide receiver from Miami. Landry. Jarvis Landry, whatever his name is, yeah. Good wide receiver.
Yeah. They still have
Josh
Gordon.
They have Josh Gordon. They have a bunch of picks in the first 2 rounds.
They have 2 picks in the first 4 picks. I mean, if they don't figure out a way to find some talent...
Just gonna be laughing at him again.
Yeah.
Perfect season.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me if they traded away the first pick.
I mean, if they could get 2 other first-round picks off of like a 3-team deal or something.
I've always thought, unless you're drafting like the Peyton Manning, like
the guy is gonna be.
If you're not drafting that guy, the first pick is kind of like horrible.
Right.
Because, like, nobody can shape it to you. Like, nobody can take that first guy and, like, all right, this is our option. Right. Like, if you have the first pick and you miss, like, you missed.
Right.
Yeah,
and then you're just a laughingstock.
Yeah.
All over again.
They've had the first pick, like, the last 5 years, so, like, it's hard to say, oh, well, what are they going to do with it? I mean, I think, number 1, they go Barkley, and then number 4, they go whoever's the quarterback out there. I don't think Tyrod's long-term. I think it's a short-term situation.
You think they're going to draft somebody and try to put,
Well,
if Tyrod wins the starting position?
He already said he's going to start. That's no competition. He already said Tyrod's our starter.
What does that say to a quarterback that gets drafted in the 4th pick then? Oh, great, I'm going to Cleveland where quarterbacks go to die.
Well, I mean, Cleveland's reputation, they go through about 5 a season, so I mean, the guy's going to have a chance at some point.
He's going to, he'll get his shot.
He'll get a shot. I mean, it's the next man up in Cleveland. They've had 94 quarterbacks in the last 10 years. So I mean,
17 coaches.
Yeah, there's no. If I'm a backup in Cleveland, I know I'm going to start sometime.
Right. I guess that's the bright side. It's a good way to look at it.
So.
Well, there's been some weird moves, some things that make sense. All in all, I'm pretty excited to lead up to the draft. Rest of March Madness, I'm pretty excited about that too.
Big weekend coming up.
Hopefully Syracuse can pull out another W against Duke. That'd be massive.
I don't know if I'd ever shut up about that.
You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
And I'm still talking about Cleveland beating the Raptors.
Why does it always... We're not even talking about the NBA. Had nothing about the NBA, and you got to throw that in at the end.
Every time. I can't wait till playoffs.
The Raptors have nothing to play for right now. They're in the first spot, and they only lost by 3.
They tried real hard to win that game.
Anyway, this is the Nosebleeds Show with Josh Barnum and Dave Hassett. Coming at you every week from the Nosebleeds, just shooting shit and not really knowing half of what we're talking about, but throwing it out there. Throw some comments down. What do you guys think? Especially about the NFL moves. Until next time. Peace.
See ya.